Hey, everybody. Welcome to Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case you have forgotten what that is, Mark, we're gonna remind you. And Mark is really good at reminding you because he wrote a book about it.
Remind you. Yes. My job is to remind everybody in the world that they are absolutely fucking amazing. That includes you, no matter what you say, because you may have it in the back of your head that, oh, I'd be much better if I could do this, or if I accomplished that, or if I was somehow different than you are. That's bullshit. You're absolutely amazing exactly as you are.
Yeah. And don't let the circumstances, don't let people, places, things, thought forms infiltrate into your energy space to make you think otherwise, right? So what do? We do the best we can with what we have right here, right now.
Yes. And that's why I'm sitting in my car doing the best I can with what I have right now. Because today I needed to go pick up my car at the service shop an hour away. And it was the only time that I could do it was to get up and be there by 7. And so here I am doing the daily dose of AFA with the Green Nurse from my car live.
I know. And the part that
I can do right now.
And the part that I just so love about that, Mark, is that you're committed. You bring the show on the road wherever you go. And I love it.
Hey, listen, this show is on the road, baby.
It is. Well, here's the fun that's so far. What I love is we haven't missed a day yet. There you go. That's our commitment to you all.
And that's, so here we go. That brings up the daily love. So I'm coming up on 1 year. I started doing the daily love messaging almost a year ago in New York City when I was sitting in my 1-bedroom apartment on 9th Avenue, 2 blocks from Times Square in a pandemic. And I said, oh, hell, this is not what I thought New York City living would be like. Like, I just moved there. I was so excited to be in the city. And then all of a sudden we're in a pandemic. I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to do? Well, I think I should probably start by, making sure that I double down and read my inspirational readings and meditate in the morning and really get my head straight. And that's when I decided to share it with other people. So here we are.
I love it.
I haven't missed it.
Yes. And the daily dose, if you look down just look down, there's a link where you can text and you can subscribe to the daily dose. This is what's so wonderful. I wake up in the morning, anywhere between 7:30 and 8. I get the daily dose of Mark, the love message.
Daily love.
And it's quick, it's easy. You guys have to subscribe. It truly will change how you start your day.
Really is. Great. It's sometimes painless because there are days when I might remind you of something that you probably don't want to be reminded of. You might have to be doing a little bit different in your life, but I guarantee you this stuff is all good. It's all good. It'll all help you get to that knowledge that you're absolutely fucking amazing exactly as you are.
There you go.
So here we go. Sherry, on February 18th, Thursday, Throwback Thursday, the daily love today was about divine order in my life and in your life. And it really was just talking about, looking back at life and looking at circumstances and things that you say, oh, wow, I really wish this had gone differently. But it's the recognition that if anything had gone differently, you wouldn't be where you are and who you are right now. And I'm telling you, you are absolutely amazing. And I took all of those adversities to make you that way.
Oh, did it ever? So just think of, I go back to when I was really sick. Like when you're like, I'm laying there going, how is this divine order? Right? But if you go back in hindsight, things start to make sense. Why did I need to experience what I needed to experience? I figured it out because I've done the internal work. It was because I wasn't where I was supposed to be. I was supposed to be doing something different, and I was caring for the world and kind of neglecting myself. Right. So I got sick. Right. And there was an opportunity for me to do something different in all ways. And that's what led me to cannabis. So if that situation, that was divine, I call it the divine orchestration of the universe. Even though I went even though there was a lot of stuff that was difficult and painful and challenging, but just, I look at it this way, I made through it. And I'm here to tell you that you can make through it too. Look at this as a divine orchestration of a different way for you to look at yourself, look at your health, look at your mind, look at your body, look at your spirit, and go inward. And then when you go inward and you're able to tap into spirit, things are going to change. They're truly going to change. It's happened for Mark and I. Right?
They will. And I love this little line here. It says, now in hindsight, I can see how I had to grow through certain experiences and evolve in wisdom, strength, power, and love before developments could come about. So if those things hadn't happened, I'm telling you right now, in my life it really is absolutely amazing. I am in a place that I could never, ever have planned for or dreamt of or even conceived of as little as 2 years ago. And so it's because of all those experiences and all of, you mentioned it, work that we do, inner work. Because of that, it creates that container and that opening for this new amazing life to just appear.
Yep. Absolutely. Woo! That is awesome, Mark.
Yes. So here we are, baby. We're in Throwback Thursday, and you know what? It's Black History Month, and we are talking about it. Now. I've been talking about some Black history, some points in Black history that are pretty negative, and people don't want to talk about it, right? But you know what, Sherry? We talk about stuff people don't want to talk about.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's the only way for it to be uncovered, understood, and then dealt with. So we're going to talk about a couple of things this morning. But the first thing I want to talk about is, let's go back to the very, 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 very beginning of what would be considered the United States, like the beginning of really Great Britain coming to America, right? So we're talking about Jamestown. We're talking about 1607. We're talking about beginning of the 1600s.
Okay.
And Sherry, we have this, some people have this misconception that the beginning of America was people fleeing religious persecution. Right. Now, that was a little bit later on, right? But America started as an entrepreneurial experiment. Ooh. People came from Great Britain and Europe seeking entrepreneurial opportunity. Like, that's what it was about. The Brits got together and created these companies that would come to America and try to make a go of it. And they failed miserably in the beginning. Like, there was a year in the first decade of the 1600s in Jamestown where it got so bad in the winter. I think they called it the Winter of Discontent. They had a name for it, right? It was that bad. It got that bad that 60% of the population died, and the other folks who were left had to eat the other people that were dead to make it through the winter. Okay, now that's tough, right? They were ready to give up, and they didn't. They got resupplied in the spring, and they stuck it out, but they just couldn't make it work until they tried hemp. They were required to grow hemp for the crown, but they looked at tobacco, and the tobacco in Virginia was just junk. It was awful. But one guy found that there was a strain of tobacco in the Caribbean that was really good. And so he brought it into Virginia, and that was the beginning of the tobacco crop, which is really the beginning of that whole the whole United States experiment, right? Kind of funny as a side note that our country got a start in the drug dealing industry, because tobacco's just a drug. So yeah, our country's been founded on drug dealing, and it still continues today. But here's the thing. Here's where we bring in African-American Black history. In 1619, 30 some odd slaves touched down, and they say 30 some odd because they didn't really keep very good track. But 30 some odd slaves touched down from the Caribbean into Virginia, and that was the beginning of African Americans in the United States. Very quickly, the African American community was 2 or 3 times larger than the white community. They were the predominant residents. Now, guess what? Everybody here was an immigrant except for the Native Americans, which, by the way, 90% of them died from smallpox and other diseases that the whites brought along anyway. That's a whole other story. But so here we are in the beginning of the country. Predominantly, the population are African Americans and slaves, and also indentured servants. So here we are in the beginning of the in the country. It's an entrepreneurial experiment, and it's being powered by free labor. So those slaves provided the economic engine that got this country off the ground. So when I hear my friends, my white friends, bitch and complain that reparation is a silly idea, and that, you know, my parents didn't own slaves and my grandparents didn't own slaves. Yeah, but guess what? The economy that you live in today, the opportunities that you have today are a direct result of that free labor that was provided by those slaves and those Black Americans. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know,
that's powerful.
A little bit of depth and understanding about really what the deal is. It's important.
There it
so
is.
That's just a little tidbit of the beginning of our country.
Yeah. Cause, effect, progression, evolution, right? Just think about it was the snowball of what progressed on, and some of it was very, very dark and very truly dark.
Yeah, we could go there. Now, Sherry, you brought up a nice a little article on Cannabis and Black History Month. Why don't you tell us about that?
Oh goodness. Okay, hold on a second. Let me pull it up. Where are my glasses?
So of course, you know, the cannabis has a long history in the African American community in the United States. It goes back further than that. And that's what Sherry uncovered. Yes,
I uncovered. So anyways, cannabis made its way to America via Africa, and it was largely due to the stereotypes. Wait a second. Wait a minute. This isn't what I want to talk about. Hold on a second. I got to find this. All right. Sorry, wasn't prepared. Okay, here we go.
I threw it on her. Oh my gosh.
I got it. So this is pretty much what you said, but I want to bring in Bob Marley. So in the 1800s, the British took 1.5 million Indian indentured servants from India to the Caribbean, and these servants brought cannabis with them. So when slavery was abolished in Jamaica and Barbados in 1834, Indian workers moved to Jamaica, and the cannabis they brought exploded in popularity. 100 years later, Bob Marley and other Jamaican musicians would help transform cannabis into a global phenomenon. So this is just a little bit further on. Cannabis also arrived in the United States via other two different groups: Mexican citizens fleeing the conflict by the Mexican Revolution, and sailors and immigrants traveling from the Caribbean to New Orleans.
Right.
So there is, we have so much rich history of different cultures coming in, and we need to look back and give gratitude. Give gratitude. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Right. So sorry for the injustices that people have had to experience. And, and basically look at that and look at, gosh, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for the trailblazers, even way back in history, that started this movement.
And I like to say the American dream was bought and paid for by the Black American slaves.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah. And so I participate in that dream. And I am aware of and grateful for how it all came about.
Yeah.
So
here it is too. Here's another thing really quickly. So, and this was after, so according to a study done by the ACLU, and this is interesting, Black people are 3.73 times, that's a lot, to be arrested for a cannabis-related crime than their white counterparts. Through cannabis usage is fairly equal across racial lines. So basically, we have, Black and brown people, white people, all of us are doing cannabis. When you look at it, it's about the same. But however, if Black people are caught, they are that's almost 4 times more likely to be arrested, which is horrible.
So. Yeah. Well, because it's really simple. And it's the system, right? And we've recognized that it's systemic racism and it is involved in law enforcement. And I don't want to, I want to be very upfront and say um, it's not about being negative about the people who are working in these industries. It's about the fact that the system that they're working under and that they're working in is flawed. So it's not them. It's the system.
Yes.
So the system needs to change and the people will change with it.
Here you go. So how do we want to end the segment, right? We want to end the segment that Black History Month, we need to call for an end to cannabis prohibition, right? Let's stop the war on people by stopping the war on drugs. Right?
The war on drugs is nothing more than a war on people. It's failed. It's failed. It's failed. It's never going to win. It's just self-perpetuating. It's never going to be. It's an unwinnable war, Sherry.
Yes. And there's some websites for you all to check out. NORML, Marijuana Policy Project, Drug Policy Alliance, and of course the Green Nurse. Now, we're here to educate and empower you all. We're here. So, Mark, this has been eye-opening history. Mark, you're a history buff, so I am really grateful for you to provide. I like to learn it. I'm not really good at reciting it back, but I do like to hear about it because it's important.
It is because it will just repeat itself because we are humans. And we just keep on doing the same things over and over again because that's how we're wired. But we can step out of that. And today, that's it. That's it. So remember, divine order. Sherry, we didn't talk about this, but what's your word for the day?
Oh, my word for the day is, oh boy. You know what? I'm going to go with divine order because you know what? I need to look at things in a different way today. That everything is the way it's supposed to be, right? Just like I'm absolutely fucking amazing just the way I am. But I'm going to tell you my health tool of the day is tea. I'm going to be drinking a lot of tea. Well, yeah, hydration is really important to me. I think that part of my issue recently of not feeling that great has to do with me not drinking enough. So I actually today, health tool of the day, I have 4 of these cups and I lined them up on the counter and I made 4 different cups of tea. So that's my health tool of the day. Hydrate, divine order, and hydration. How about you? Your health tool.
No, my health tool today is exercise. I'm going back to that. So the other day when I can't even remember what day it was, but I had one of those days where everything just went sideways, right? And so I showed up at the gym thinking that the class started at a particular time, and I was 15 minutes late because it's a new gym for me and I didn't understand what the time was for the class. And in this particular format, if you're late for class, you don't get to take it. So I didn't get to exercise that day. And I really could have used that workout, let me tell you, because it was really just like one of those days where, okay.
I got to tell you. So your wife is online. Hello, Jamie. She's my wife too. And she said that experience happened on Monday.
She would know. Yeah,
she would know. So before we sign off, let's say hello. Hello, Jack. Hello, Denise.
Hey, Jack.
Hello,
Denise.
Yes, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes.
And yes. Joe, this yes is for you.
Joe, our buddy Joe.
Yeah, this yes is for you. So if you or someone you love is suffering from chronic illness, chronic disease, if you're interested in learning about how to incorporate cannabis wellness into your daily life, or if you're new to cannabis and you want to have an adult use experience, you want to learn, you want to explore this plant, trust me, we've done the research for you. We're here to educate and empower you to make choices, to teach you how to utilize this plant to the way that you want to experience it. And there's safe ways of doing it. And we're here for you. So visit us at www.thegreennurse.com.
Right. And to tie on to that, if you're in the healthcare space, helping people be healthy in any area, listen, the worst thing that can happen is somebody tries cannabis and it doesn't work, and then they never try it again. That's the worst case. We need providers. We need you in our community to become educated to help people to use it safely and effectively. And effectively means by figuring out what is the best chemovar, best strain for them for whatever it is that they're working with. So we can help you understand how to do that, because this really is an amazing tool in the toolkit for being a healthy human being.
Yes. And as a licensed health provider, a health coach, any health and wellness practitioner in the industry, I'm telling you right now, the more you know about the endocannabinoid system, everything that we do or don't do in our lives affects it. And so you are going to be bringing added value to your clients, and trust me, they will thank you.
They will. They will. And so thanks everybody for stopping by. I know I am on my way to having an AFA day. It's already happening because everything is in divine order. And Sherry,
yes.
What's it all about?
Oh, goodness gracious, everyone, you know what it's about. It's about living your best life and helping others do the same. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow morning.